I really didn't want to pull the fence back up and risk trapping myself in this place. Oops. An old shell case. I wondered what that was doing there. No handle, nothing obvious, but there had to be a way to open it. The words Sinister and Dexter were carved on either side. Now any good convent girl like... But what did it mean?
Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
The hole was too small even for my little hand. The brass case was smooth and perfectly round. I couldn't get my hand in. Moving the skiff would only damage it more. I really didn't want to pull the fence back up and risk trapping myself in this place. I wasn't leaving yet. I had a hunch there was more to find. The cross looked familiar. I'd seen it before. The cloth was embroidered with an unusual symbol. The cloth was embroidered. No. The cross looked familiar. I'd seen it before. The cross looked familiar. I'd seen it before. The cloth was embroidered with an unusual symbol. A safe key. The artifact was like an old printer's block, covered in symbols. The artifact was...
Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
It was a boat ticket stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. It was one of my hair clips. My favorite, in fact. Rolling out the painted cylinder had given me a print of a secret message. It read, Sub Judice. Below it was a sequence of letters, SDSS DSS.
Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Rolling out the painted cylinder had given me a print of a secret message. It read, Sub Judice. Below it was a sequence of letters, SDSS DSS.
Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
More ways than one. An old shell case. I wondered what that was doing there. I'd wrecked the skiff. Not that it was particularly seaworthy anyway. A rough hole was cut into the pillar. Mystery solved. Carchon's stone cylinder slotted into the...
Oh, now it goes. What?
Mystery solved. With a satisfying... Another click. I made a mistake. The lock reset. A satisfying click. Another click. I love the sound of locks clicking open. I removed the stone cylinder. Oh my God! The slab came down with a hell of a force. With nothing to hold it up, the cross dropped back down again. Lifting the cross closed the entrance door and also opened some kind. If I was going to get a closer look at the panel, I'd have to find a way of keeping the cross up. The cross looked familiar. I'd seen it before. This wouldn't hold the cross up. But I was on the right track. I needed to use something sturdier. The stone cross was propped up. Now I was getting somewhere. I touched the slot. Nothing bad happened, which was good. I've always been attached to my fingers. This slot was designed for something specific. But what? No way would I be able to force the door open. I touched the slot. Nothing bad happened, which was good. This slot was designed for something specific. But what? A round slot precisely carved into the stonework. I took the stone cylinder. This wouldn't hold the cross up. But I was on the right track. I needed to use something sturdier. I touched the slot. Nothing bad happened, which was good.
I've always been attached to my fingers.
This slot was designed for something specific. But what? I touched the slot, which was good. This slot. A round slot. The artifact slotted into the hole perfectly. Behind the old walls, I could hear some kind of mechanism groaning into life, but whatever had been triggered had now jammed. The gap was too thin for me to get a grip. I needed something thin enough to prise the door open. I removed the shell case. The cross didn't drop back down. Some kind of mechanism was holding it up. The gap was too thin for me to get a grip. I needed something thin enough to prise. I was going to need something a lot stronger than a hair clip to free the door. The cross didn't drop back down. Some kind of mechanism was holding it up. The gap was too thin for me to get a grip. I needed something thin enough to prise the door open. The gap was too narrow. I needed something flatter to work into it. The gap was too thin for me to get a grip. I needed something thin enough to prise the door open. The cross didn't need to be propped up. Moving the skiff would only damage it more. I really didn't want to put... This wouldn't hold the cross up. But I was on the right track. I needed to use something sturdier. I touched the slot. Nothing bad happened, which was good.
I've always been attached to my fingers.
I removed the shell case. While Cashon's stone cylinder was in the hole, the door back out remained closed. No way would I be able to force the door open.
A door made out of... They normally are.
The cross didn't need to be propped up. No. 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 The gap was too thin for me to get a grip. I needed something thin enough to prise the door open.
Anyway.
Stone cylinder. Gave me a print of a secret message. It read, I turned, keeping the cross out, moved the stone, and SS. A satisfying click. It read, Sub Judice. Below it was a sequence of letters, S, D, S, S, D, S, S. get a closer look at the panel, I'd have to find a way of keeping the cross up. The cross didn't drop back down. Some kind of mechanism was holding it up. The stone slab had flattened one end of the shell case. I removed the shell case. The gap was too thin for me to get a grip. I needed something thin enough to prise the door open. Another good use for a shell case. Another secret room. Somebody had something to hide. But was it what I was looking for? Wow! Through the darkness, I could see that this was a stateroom. But for what purpose? And how did it tie in with Carchon?
Amazing! The thing still worked. The room lit up bright as day. Inside the drawer, I found a note written in some kind of code. It was pretty clear from the lack of dust that someone had been working very recently at this desk. Oh my God! The sheet was a printout with my personal information. Everything from my favorite food to my waist size. They were right about chocolate. But come on, guys, I'm a size 10. There was even a picture of me, taken with a telephoto lens. Carchon wouldn't have taken these pictures himself. This was big. And organized. I was part of it. And people were getting murdered. This was the article. Carchon had cut it out. 2 businessmen had been killed. A penguin, both. So, how did they fit in with Carchon? My articles about the cost. Damn, don't you just hate it when that happens? A photo, long lost, had fallen down the back of the drawer. It was very old, but there was no mistaking the guy in the foreground. Carchon. Behind him were soldiers, a burning village and a corpse. The photograph was cropped on the right-hand side. Somebody else in the picture obviously didn't want to be in it anymore. I wasn't surprised. This was Africa in the 60s. An uprising, and here was Mr. Media himself. Carchon, doing the suppressing. The photograph was not just powerful evidence. It was also my ticket to one explosive story. There was nothing else. The drawer had come out easily enough, but wouldn't fit back into place. The drawer had I wasn't going to find anything in this old desk. It hadn't been used for years. The flags had faded, but their message was still pretty clear. Fascist regalia, a message of hate. The photograph showed Carchon smiling happily to camera, with a background of burning huts and death. Exactly. Behind the old walls. And how did it tie in with Carchon? No one had worked. Photo. Not be in it anymore. Suspicion hadn't tried. I had decrypted the note. It read, "Here. Full report to follow. But this is too urgent to wait. Arno and Yamada both dead. This is not a coincidence. Indeed, it seems that all of us who came together in July are in danger. Take great care. X." I wasn't the only one to make the connection between the costume killer murders. I'd been right all along. That was why he had asked to meet me. But what did I know that he didn't? I had enough for a story. An amazing story that was going to make my reputation and blow Canchons to pieces. I needed to get home fast and start typing.
This isn't gonna end well.
Bonsoir, Collard.
Nico, it's Ronnie.
Hey, Ronnie, you cracked open the champagne yet?
Are you crazy?
What's wrong? Wait a minute. You didn't print it, did you?
Course I didn't print.
That's the best piece I've written.
The last, as far as I'm concerned.
It's important.
It's suicidal. You can't destroy a national hero.
He deserved it.
His corpse isn't even cold.
Ronnie, 2 hours ago I told you what I'd found. You loved it. You begged me to write it up immediately.
2 hours is a long time in newspapers, Nico.
Someone's got to you, haven't they?
Listen up, Nicole, and listen good. Pierre Carchon had a lot of friends. Powerful friends. For your own sake.
Forget what happened.
You got it. End of conversation. Good night.
This should have been my big break, but I knew there was nowhere else to sell this story. If Ronnie wouldn't print it, nobody would.
Well, fuck. Can't believe it. He's going back. He changed his mind.
Bonsoir, Collard.
Anyway.
Mademoiselle Collard, my name is Plantard. I need to talk to you about your story. Your Pierre Carchon story.
How did you know about that?
There are people out there, madame, who will be very upset by this story.
Oh, really? Well, it's their lucky day. It's been spiked.
Yes, I know. We must meet.
We must?
I have information relating to your costume killer stories. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., Café de la Chandelle Verte, Rue Alain Court. I shall be wearing a grey overcoat. You must talk to no one about this.
You can't tell me what to...
Tomorrow at 8. I'll be waiting.
People complain about newspaper articles all the time, but not usually before they're printed. I was beginning to feel scared. This guy, Plantard, could I trust him? Should I meet him or forget the whole business? I didn't have an answer.
Okay.
I'd only been in Paris for a week, but already I'd fallen in love with the city. My latest discovery was a little cafe, La Chandelle Verte. I was pretty sure the waitress was taking a shine to me. That old Stobart charm, I guess. Little did I know my reverie was about to be so rudely interrupted. As I picked myself up, I was really angry. 1 minute I'm on vacation, the next minute some clown's blown me up. I knew right away what I was going to do. I was going to find that clown and bring him to justice. Because justice matters. Justice is up there with liberty and equality and, fraternity. After all, that's why I'd studied law, wasn't it? Well, that, and the money, of course.